Just in the Kitchen with me, your host, Justine. Today, I am making fried applesauce pies. These are absolutely fabulous. There's a church right down the street that my Uncle Emmett goes to, and this is Sister Priscilla's recipe. They have a garage sale or open house, something, where I don't know what they're selling except these apple pies, and then they have soup beans and cornbread, and it is fabulous. They're selling stuff. I think it's a garage sale. I'm not sure. All I know is I went for the apple pies. So I have this recipe and it is delicious. It's easy. It takes a little bit with the dough, but it is so delicious you won't even care. I'd like to thank everybody that has subscribed to my YouTube and my Facebook. Please share me. If you have not subscribed, do. If you're watching this, I would love to hear from you. And let me know what you think, what you want, what you cook. I love sharing recipes. As a matter of fact, whenever I go anywhere and I taste something, who made this? Who made this? Can I get your recipe? Can I get your recipe? So I am a recipe pilferer. I go through cereal recipe grabber. I just absolutely love it. So let's get to the ingredients. I have flour, I have sugar, I have Crisco, I have baking powder, I have in here cinnamon and nutmeg and salt. Now some of it goes in the flour, some of it goes into the apples. The sugar, there's half the sugar in the recipe, goes here. Baking soda, baking powder, sorry. And then I'm putting a pinch of this into my apples. And then the rest goes into my flour for my dough. And it's dry ingredients. And I did forget the eggs. Eggs go in here. It's kind of a different dough recipe. And I remember seeing, I went there the first time I went there, and there was this lady, and she just actually spread it out in her hand and made it, and oh my gosh, she did. I still see her little hand today. I just love her. And she will never remember me, but I remember her. And so when I wanted to share this recipe with you, there were two people that I had reached out to, and one was my Uncle Emmett, and another one was Brother Red's wife. And so they sent me recipes, and this is from that. All right. So next I'm going to take my Crisco. Usually I use butter for my crust, but for this one I'm using Crisco because that's what they used. And then I'm just gonna go in here and cut my Crisco into my flour. And this should make a really flaky dough. And you could do it in your food processor, but they didn't, and I'm not. Besides, I'd have to wash it, and we know I'm a little on the lazy side. I don't like washing big equipment unless I'm going to use it a lot, or it's something that will cut off more time than it will in the washing and the getting out of it. So like if I have to at Christmas time do a lot of Parmesan, and I have to grate a lot of Parmesan, then I will get out the processor. But for this, by the time I get the processor out and I have to wash it because it's been sitting there, and then I have to do it, and then I have to wash it again, it's easier for me to do it. And there we go. Now I have 2 eggs. One. Get it right there. I'll get it out later. Be very careful. There's a little shell that wants to get in there, and I saved it. Yeah, there it is. I was like all that trouble, and I thought I saved it, and it fell in there anyway. Now I'm going to put in evaporated milk. My niece used to call it operated milk. And my grandfather used to use this for his coffee. And it was so good. This is not sweetened condensed milk. It is evaporated milk. There's no sugar added to this. So then, just going to mix it up. See the dough? Now I'm just going to get in there with clean hands and just kind of knead it. Make sure it's all together. And you can see how she would get her hands all in there, and then she'd just smush it out and put the apples in it. She wouldn't even roll. Now I'm going to put it in the refrigerator while I cook my apples down. Pouring my apples in. Remember, I put a little salt in there. Put my sugar in, my nutmeg and my cinnamon. Stir it around. I'm going to put the lid on top of it. Cinnamon dust. There we go. Turn it on low. Make my applesauce. There we go. That's it. Just check it that it doesn't burn. Here is my applesauce. Now I like it a little chunky. You can see it's brown with all the cinnamon, but I do like it chunky. Otherwise, it would be more like apple butter. You get it as to the consistency that you want. You want it very fine? Okay. You want it chunky? Like me? Well, like the applesauce and me, I guess. Then go ahead and do it the way I did. Now I'm going to let it cool off and we will come back. What I do is I take the ball and I roll it. I take the dough and I roll it in a ball and then put a little flour underneath and you just roll it, turning it so it doesn't stick. And then I like to take this and go around the edges. And then that keeps it round. Let me move that. There we go. Turn it and just take it. And it rolls it, and I'm telling you, it holds a circle better than anything rolling back and forth, anything like that. This holds a circle. But if it's not perfect, these are rustic, right? Isn't that the term they use for not perfect? It's rustic. And then you just take it until it's about a 1/4 inch. And see how perfect it is? And then I'm just going to start setting them over here as I make them. They're very easy. That's this dough, that's the magic of this dough. I tell you, Sister Priscilla, I love you, love you, love you for this dough. I have never heard of it before with evaporated milk. All I know is that it tasted good. All you do is you put the apple pie filling on one side. And I could tell you, hey, put a tablespoon. It depends on how big you roll these out. Then you take it and you make it a crescent. I don't know if you can see that. It's just me, so my cameraman's not here. Then I'm going to take this and go around to make it pretty. Because this is the old-fashioned way to do it. This is what they did at the church. I'm going to do this. Do, 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 do. You know what it kind of looks like? You know those pies that you get from Hostess or something? They're like the little pies that you buy. That's what it looks like. But oh, is it so much better. See how it looks? Just perfect. So my circle wasn't perfect, but I perfected it with that little pizza cutter. Actually, it was a dough cutter. Now I'm going to make 3 more. And what I'll do is I'll hold the dough till tomorrow. I've got the oil and I'll just make more tomorrow. Instead of making them all now and then they're not as good. Fresh is the best. But I'm going to tell you, my mom's brought back a bag home and they were pretty good cold. Now my oil is 2 temp, and I'm going to try and do this one-handed. There we go. And then I'm just going to cook them till they're golden brown. They're done. Oh, the dough feels like just so tender. Everybody remembers the old apple pies at McDonald's and how good the crust was. That's this, and the crust has a sweetness, not only from the sugar, but that evaporated milk. Now it's time to see if they're as good as I remember. This is everything I remember about these apple pies. It takes me back, and I can see her hands. I just love her so much. Anyway, I used a mixture of apples. So I used John Mac, Gala, and Granny Smith. I like that. They said to use all Golden Delicious, but I like the mix because I still got a little bit of a crunch from, I think, the Granny Smith apple, and it is very, very, very good. If your apples are more tart, or you like it a little bit more sweeter, you're going to want to bump up the sugar. For me, the sugar was perfect, but apples are not always the same. So make sure you taste before you stuff, okay? For this recipe and more, you can go to the cookbook that my uncle has from the church, or you can go to www.justinthekitchen.com for this recipe and more. It is delicious. Remember, subscribe to YouTube, hit the bell, come see me over at www.youtube.justinthekitchen. You guys have a great fall. I'm going to be celebrating with all these wonderful apple and caramel and pumpkin and pork and oh, they're endless. See you later. God bless. Bye.